If Fight Club and The Matrix had a socially anxious, hoodie-wearing love child who exclusively spoke in cryptic monologues about capitalism and mental illness, it would be Mr. Robot. This show wasn't just a TV series. It was a paranoid fever dream wrapped in a conspiracy theory, dipped in social commentary, and delivered straight to our screens with the promise, are you seeing what they want you to see? So, let's hack into it. Yeah. Expect a lot of bad hacking puns here. And let's break down Mr. Robot, the psychological thriller that made everyone double-check their webcams and question their reality. This is the first episode of NOCH Recommends, where I recommend some of the best past and present TV shows that I think are worth seeing. Today, let's talk about Mr. Robot.
I understand what it's like to be different. I'm very different, too.
Every once in a while, a writer and director comes along who doesn't just make a show but creates an experience. Enter Sam Esmail, the man behind Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot was this Hoboken's native first TV gig as a creator and director. He originally wrote it as a screenplay for a feature film, but because his script had more layers than an onion, having an existential crisis, it was expanded into a full-fledged TV series. And honestly, I think it was the best decision ever. Esmail himself crafted most of the series, and that's pretty rare in TV land. I mean, it's like if Christopher Nolan decided to personally handle every single episode of Inception if it was a TV series. His cinematic style, long takes, unsettling angles, and reality-bending twists turned Mr. Robot into something that felt like a 4-season-long mind trip. So, let's talk about the plot for Mr. Robot. And since I'm going into a deep dive here, a spoiler alert is in full effect. Meet Elliot Alderson, played by Rami Malek, a socially awkward, hoodie-wearing cybersecurity expert who moonlights as a vigilante hacker. His hobbies include exposing P-files, narrating his own life in a deadpan voice, and stirring into a void like he just forgot his Reddit password. Elliot is recruited by the mysterious Mr. Robot, played by Christian Slater, a leader of a hacker group called F Society, which is basically anonymous but with more angsty speeches. Their mission? Take down Evil Corp, the world's most corrupt company. Yes, it's literally called Evil Corp. Subtle, right? Oh, and plot twist. Mr. Robot is actually Elliot's dead father. Wait, no, he's not actually real? I mean, Elliot has dissociative identity disorder, and Mr. Robot is just another personality in his head. Boom! Mind blown. Elliot spends most of this season thinking he's at home, when, surprise, he's actually in prison. Turns out his brain lied to him. Yeah, because that's a thing now. Meanwhile, his sister Darlene, played by Carly Chaikin, tries to keep F Society afloat, but things get messy. Like, really messy. And let's not forget White Rose, the most stylish villain ever, played by B.D. Wong. White Rose is the enigmatic leader of the Dark Army, a cyber terrorist group that makes F Society look like a bunch of kids playing with Wi-Fi. White Rose has big plans, including some reality-altering quantum computer nonsense that makes even the weirdest Black Mirror episodes look tame. Fights to undo the chaos he started, but surprise, Mr. Robot isn't ready to retire just yet. We also get introduced to Irvin, played by the criminally underrated Bobby Cannavale, a Dark Army fixer who manages to be both terrifying and oddly charming. This season also brings one of the best single-shot episodes in TV history. No cuts, just pure anxiety-inducing chaos. discovers that his entire life has been a lie, because why stop at just one identity crisis? Turns out there's yet another version of him locked away in his head. At this point, his brain is basically a Russian nesting doll. The finale is pure psychological insanity, but somehow it works. Elliot doesn't save the world, but he does finally accept himself, and after 4 seasons of mind-melting twists, this is just as close as a happy ending as we're gonna get. Rami Malek plays Elliot Alderson, the guy who made whisper talking a whole vibe. Also, he won an Oscar later for playing Freddie Mercury, so good for him. Christian Slater is Mr. Robot. Imagine if Tyler Durden got really into Linux. Charlie Chaikin plays Darlene Alderson, Elliot's badass hacker sister, who somehow manages to be more stable than he is, which isn't saying much. Portia Doubleday stars as Angela Moss, Elliot's childhood friend, who slowly transforms into a corporate puppet and then gets completely obliterated by the plot. Beanie Wong plays a White Rose, the most fashionable villain in TV history, rocking power suits while talking about time travel. Bobby Cannavale stars as Irvin, a dark army enforcer who somehow makes threatening people feel like a casual conversation at a diner. Rami Malek wore the same hoodie for all 4 seasons of the series. Some say it fused to his skin by the finale. Yikes. The show actually hired real hackers as consultants, so the hacking scenes weren't just enhance image, zoom in, and hack the mainframe nonsense. It actually had some legit stuff. And look, I'm the first person to diss movie and TV hackers, always pounding on the keyboard and never using a mouse. Have you ever wondered about that? However, the hacking actually seemed pretty realistic to me. But what the heck do I know? Sam Esmail originally planned the show to be just 1 season. But then, I guess he realized that blowing minds takes time. And luckily, we got 4. The critics went absolutely nuts for Mr. Robot. Seriously, the first season of the show holds a 98% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and for good reason. It was sleek, paranoid, and felt like Fight Club had a cyberpunk baby with The Matrix. Rami Malek's performance as Elliot was so good that people started wondering if he was even acting. And for once, a hacker show didn't rely on the let me aggressively type for 5 seconds and I'm in nonsense. No, Mr. Robot was the real deal. It was dark, it was smart, and it made you question every email you ever received. And then the later seasons happened. Look, season 2, that one tested people. The pacing slowed down, reality blurred, and suddenly we were spending a lot of time inside Elliot's head. Some fans loved it, some others not so much. Season 3 picked up the pieces and cranked the tension back, but by season 4, Mr. Robot was officially playing 4D chess with himself. And then came the reveal. Wait, there's another Elliot? At that point, half the audience was in awe, the other half were rubbing their temples and wondering, if Esmail was just trolling them. But here's the thing, even when it got bonkers, Mr. Robot never stopped being absolutely captivating. The cinematography, still stunning. The long single-take shots, still jaw-dropping. And that final season, even the skeptics had to admit, it stuck the landing. The series finale holds a perfect 10/10 rating on IMDb. Because when it counted, Mr. Robot delivered an ending that was emotional, mind-blowing, and borderline existential crisis-inducing. So yeah, Mr. Robot wasn't for everyone, but for those who got it, it wasn't just a TV show. It was a full-blown psychological thrill ride that left you really questioning reality and considering your entire digital footprint. And it made you paranoid about society, if I'll be honest. It also made you wonder if you had a secret alter ego running around. So, just your average casual binge watch. You ever watch a show that makes you question reality itself? Like pause mid-episode just to process what the hell you just saw? That's Mr. Robot in a nutshell. If you thought Westworld had confusing plot lines, Mr. Robot just looked it dead in the eye and say, "Oh my hoodie." The show constantly messed with time, perspective, and even the aspect ratio just to keep you disoriented. I mean, 1 second you're watching a hacker thriller, and the next you're knee deep in an existential crisis disguised as a sitcom episode. Sam Esmail didn't just want to tell you a story, he wanted to warp your brain, and he succeeded. And then there were the plot twists, and holy hell, where there are a lot of them. Fight Club style multiple personalities? Check. A secret entire season-long hallucination? Check. A twist so wild in the final season that fans literally had to rewatch the entire show just to make sure Esmail wasn't gaslighting them? Check. Mr. Robot didn't just drop plot twists, it threw them at your face like a hacker throwing a Molotov at E-Corp. Half the time you weren't even sure if what you were seeing was real or just another layer of Elliot's mental funhouse of horrors. And the craziest part, even when it got absurdly complex, it still made sense, eventually. And then there's Elliot. This dude is the exact opposite of your typical TV protagonist. He's not some badass with perfect one-liners. He's a socially anxious, hoodie-wearing wreck who talks to himself and us way too much. And somehow, we all got him. Maybe it was the way Rami Malek played him with a mix of quiet intensity and sheer "I haven't slept in 3 days" energy. Maybe it was the fact that, deep down, Elliot was just a guy trying to take down a corrupt system while dealing with his own personal demons. Either way, he was one of the most uniquely relatable main characters in TV history. And speaking of corruption, this show did not hold back. Mr. Robot went scorched earth on capitalism, big corporations, and basically everything wrong with modern society. It was like a Reddit conspiracy thread come to life, but with actual intelligence behind it. From the 1% of the 1% controlling the world to the dangers of unchecked mental illness, the show wasn't afraid to call out the system and drag it through the mud. It didn't just entertain, it made you think, it made you paranoid, and it made you wonder if you should start keeping your cash under your mattress. And if a TV show can do that to you, then you know it's something special. Oh, hell yes, it does hold up. If you're into psychological thrillers that make you question your own reality, hacker dramas that don't treat you like an idiot, looking at you CSI Cyber, and a protagonist that looks like he runs on caffeine, paranoia, and existential dread, then Mr. Robot is an absolute must-watch. The show still feels as fresh and unsettling as it did back in 2015, with its mind-melting twists, eerily relevant social commentary, and cinematography that makes every scene look like it belongs in an art exhibition called Anxiety in 4 frames. It's weird, it's brilliant, and it will wreck your brain, but in the best way possible. Watching Mr. Robot is like stepping into a digital dream where you're never quite sure what's real, but you don't care because it's so damn good. It's not just a show, it's an experience, one that'll stick with you long after the credits roll, making you rethink everything from corporate greed to your own reflection. So, if you haven't watched it, do yourself a favor and grab a hoodie, turn off your phone's GPS, and dive straight in. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll need to go cover my webcam, just in case.